There's a lot of fighting going on right now between streaming services. So much so that the streaming wars are starting to look like an episode of the wildly popular Netflix show Squid Game.
Yeah, everyone is battling for customers, and there's a ton of change going on in the streaming industry. About a month ago, we saw NBC Universal try to force YouTube TV to bundle and pay for Peacock Premium as part of a new affiliation agreement for the NBC Universal channels, which include USA, E, Bravo, and more.
Needless to say, it didn't go very well, and it really revealed Peacock's hand. They have the highest churn rate in the industry, and they seem desperate. They thought they had enough muscle to force YouTube TV to do what they wanted, and it turns out they don't. It's just one of the streaming battles going on right now.
Beyond the battles, in this video, we cover 5 of the biggest changes in the streaming space, what's coming in the not-too-distant future to a TV near you, and discuss how these changes might impact cord cutters like you.
So let's start with the latest announcement that Netflix is getting into gaming. Now, if you're brand new to streaming like our in-laws, you might not know that Netflix gaming is a thing, or in particular, Netflix mobile gaming. Recently, Netflix announced that it had acquired Night School Studio, the gaming outfit behind Oxenfree, which is a popular choose-your-own-adventure game.
The studio focuses on storyline-based gameplay as opposed to games that require technical skill, which is good because we still don't know how you're going to be able to play games on Netflix. There are a lot of questions, like will games be playable with a TV remote? Will Netflix build its own controls, dongles, or boxes? Will you be able to play Netflix games locally, or will everything live in the cloud? Right now, there are no answers to those questions, just a statement from Netflix that this will be a multi-year effort.
So, why is Netflix getting into gaming? Well, first of all, Netflix isn't the only streaming service to explore gaming. HBO Max is looking at it as well, and Amazon Prime, which wants to be the place that you go to for everything streaming related, has its own gaming platform, Twitch.
Also, as numerous news outlets have reported, including Motley Fool and Forbes, gaming gives Netflix a way to increase the time spent on its channel as it approaches market saturation here in the US. And Netflix wants to grow beyond a streaming company into a media empire, similar to what Disney has become.
Yeah, it purchased the Roald Dahl story company recently as well, saying that it, quote, hoped to create a unique universe across animated and live-action films and TV, publishing, games, immersive experiences, live theater, consumer products, and more. So yeah, like Disney.
Speaking of Disney, Netflix has said that it views itself as its only competition, but Disney Plus has gained enough subscribers to make it number 2 in the streaming space. It now has about half the number of subscribers that Netflix does. HBO Max has also steadily been gaining subscribers, and even if Netflix won't admit it, the competition has to have it thinking of what it can do to keep people on its service.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, everyone wants your eyeballs, and they are all doing whatever they can to try to reduce churn, which is the second change facing the streaming industry. And there's a whole lot of churning going on right now. Churn is a term that refers to how many subscribers streaming services lose each month. Netflix and Amazon have the lowest churn rates, while Peacock and ad-supported video on-demand services have the highest. A Parks Associates study found that most of the reasons people cancel a streaming subscription have to do with content.
While the most common reason is to cut household expenses, other top reasons were canceling once the show they wanted to see was over, not being able to find a good show to watch, a service taking away content, and liking to change services to find new content.
Now, these are all good reasons to start, stop, or pause a streaming service, which is something that we encourage on our channel often. It just proves once again that content is king, and that the key to finding the best streaming service for you is zeroing in on those streaming services that have the shows and games you want to watch for the best price possible.
Absolutely. Speaking of finding the shows and games you want to watch, our third change shaking up the streaming space right now concerns games. In particular, NFL Sunday Ticket and where it will land. Amazon, Apple, and Disney are all in talks to try and get NFL Sunday Ticket from the NFL. As we discussed in our best ways to watch NFL games without cable video, NFL Sunday Ticket is wildly popular with football fans because it lets you watch every NFL game played on Sundays.
It would be great for someone like me, who's a Chargers fan living in Nebraska, because most of their games aren't on my local channels. But we're not willing to have cable to get it. Well, next year, we may not have to.
That's right, because DirecTV's 8-year agreement with the NFL is coming to a close in 2022. The NFL wants more than a reported $2 billion for the rights to stream NFL Sunday Ticket, which is at least $500 million more than DirecTV currently pays for it. The content empires with deep enough pockets to afford NFL Sunday Ticket include Amazon, Apple, and Disney. Originally, Amazon was the frontrunner, and now it's looking to be Apple.
As we mentioned in our Apple TV Plus review video, Apple certainly is sitting on a large pile of cash, and it really doesn't have any sports offerings, so this could diversify its content and snag it some new subscribers. Reportedly, Apple is even thinking about letting people buy their own teams out of market games or purchase single games rather than having to purchase the entire service for the whole season, like DirecTV does now. That would be a welcome arrangement, as sports tends to be the least a la carte option left in the streaming world.
Yeah, and that brings us to our fourth game changer in the streaming space, ESPN, and whether or not it could become a standalone streaming service. Now, we're not talking about ESPN Plus, which is already a standalone service that specializes in niche sports and original programming. We're talking about being able to just subscribe to ESPN rather than having to get its channels as part of a live TV streaming service channel list.
It's an interesting question, and it begs a follow-up one of how much would people be willing to pay to stream just the ESPN networks? And would Disney bundle it with ESPN Plus? Would it cannibalize Hulu Live, which is a majority owner, just to offer ESPN?
Ultimately, it's going to come down to profit. An article on The Streamable argues that right now, Disney still makes too much off of cable subscriptions that carry ESPN to rip it out and make it available as a standalone streaming service. But the future could see a change to that, and it brings us to our last change in the streaming space we're covering today: mergers and acquisitions, or cannibalization, as we're calling it.
There have been many new entrants to the streaming space in the last year or two. Peacock, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, and HBO Max are just a few. And there's a reason for that. The number of people who choose to cut the cord and start streaming is rising dramatically, especially over the past 18 months. There are now many more older people streaming than there used to be. The number of people streaming Netflix who are over 45 years old rose by 22% in the past 2 years. Now, part of this is the pandemic. More people are staying home and streaming than ever before. But part of it is the rise in streaming services and devices, too.
Yeah, there are more ways than ever to watch content. The number of people who own streaming devices is up nearly 20% too. Many people are choosing to stream instead of pay for cable. We're really happy about that, as we think cable is overpriced. Streaming is having a bit of a golden age right now. There's lots of choice and lots of streaming services battling each other for your subscription dollars.
Now, we know that not all of the services that are here today will survive. Things are already shaping up into a case of have and have-nots. The haves, or services that look well positioned to stick around once the streaming wars are over, include Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max. The losers look to be network launch services like Peacock and Paramount Plus. It's a really dynamic situation, and one that can make choosing the right streaming service hard.
Yeah, we hear from viewers regularly who say they're confused by all the streaming options and don't know what they need to get started. If that's you, we recommend our Kill Cable Cord Cutting course. It covers everything you need to know to stream, what equipment you need, the best on-demand and live TV streaming services, how to watch sports and premium channels without cable, internet requirements for streaming, and more.
Yeah, if you're feeling lost, but you're committed to cutting the cord, check it out. Now, back to the topic at hand. What do you think about the changes going on in the streaming space? What did we leave off our list that's on your radar? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you can get our latest streaming news and reviews when they drop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next video.